Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Zoom session tonight. My name is Alan Friedman, and I'm the Ride Director for Escape New York 2021. We're really excited to have a new sponsor and partner called Vid Fitness. One of the things about our ride that's a little bit tough is it's a rain or shine, non-refundable ride. We hope we're going to have good weather next weekend, but we can never predict. So if it is rainy, what are you going to do? And last year we tried to bring forward a program for virtual riding, which is pretty popular in the New York Cycle Club, but it really kind of requires you to have Swift in order to ride with other people. And that's, for some people, it's no big deal, but for some people, it's an expensive proposition and it's kind of not real. It's very virtual. When I say very virtual, what I think you're going to find interesting about Vid Fitness is that there's a dimension of real in that you can be doing real Escape New York routes. In this case, it's one from a prior year that Sarah went out and did. So I'd like to say that I'm excited. This is getting in on the ground floor of something new. This is also a technology that will allow you to contribute rides that you do and that you like. And Sarah will talk about the process and how to do that. So it's pretty exciting all the way around. And without further ado, I'm going to welcome Sarah, who introduced me to the company, who did all the work to make this happen, and will be able to do a much better job presenting it than me. And she'll introduce our guests and take it away, Sarah. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan. This is fun. Stephen and Vid, did you guys want to say anything? Introduce yourselves.
Sure.
Talk a bit about the company that you've created.
Yeah, certainly. Very quickly. Number one, we're extremely excited and thankful to have a chance to connect with the group and offer, free use of the platform. We basically were born out of the idea that we enjoy riding around and that we have video cameras, and why not enable those rides to be shared and used on your own home trainer? So we built that platform, and V and I have been pushing forward on that a long time, and we met Sarah, and we're extremely excited to have Sarah upload her rides to the platform and enable anybody to cycle against that. So yeah, that's really what we are. Think of us as like a platform that you can share your own cycle rides on, and we're looking forward to seeing what Sarah's done. V, you're on mute, by the way.
Hey, Sarah, thanks. I'm just going to change my name here in the Zoom platform so that folks can see instead my email address. And I'll welcome anyone who visits this video recording to email me about questions that they might have after viewing the recording. Okay, thanks again for having us.
Okay, so we'll see how well I do with my camera switching and the various things I've done here. Stephen, to what you said, the way that I've been thinking about your platform is it's the Napster of bike rides. But then I realized that probably that dates me because nobody knows what Napster is or was anymore.
I do.
Okay, well, you're not as old as I am, but you're probably closer than some people. All right, let's see if I can read my notes here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reverse my camera here and just show my bike setup for what that's worth. So my bike is on my smart trainer, which is a Wahoo Kicker. You can see it's plugged into power. It has ANT and Bluetooth connectivity, right? And then I'm going to walk over here, preferably without tripping over everything. And I'm going to plug in my ANT dongle. It's just this little piece that allows the trainer to be connected and controlled by the ride file that the software is playing. Shove that in the USB port. Beeps. All right, and we come back over here. I'm going to switch cameras now. Before I do that, let me just point out, if you don't usually ride indoors, you'll want a mat down. You sweat a lot more inside. You don't get any wind, and a towel for that matter. Fresh Direct bags make wonderful, wonderful bike mats for underneath there. It's going to take me just a second to switch my camera here. Okay, there we are. So I do suggest being in speaker view up in the upper right where it says view in Zoom, because I'm not going to share screen. It makes the video a little wonky when we do that. So if you go to the speaker view, you will only see me. You won't see everybody else at the same size like the gallery. And that may allow you to see a little better what I'm doing. Would help if I also started the software. So here's Vid Fitness. It's probably going to white out a little bit on screen here. So this is the pairing screen that we've come into. And I've got my heart rate monitor on. You'll see it's found that, and it's found my kicker. So I'm going to select my kicker. I have some issues with this heart rate monitor on all the platforms. There we go. So it found it, which is a miracle these days. And then within the software, right, there are all these different channels, different workouts you can do, different channels. The most exciting channel, let me go up here, is of course Escape New York, right? So this is, it's actually the classic route, as Alan mentioned. There was a change to this year's route. So this isn't exactly what you'll be riding, but it is 100 miles of video minus the 11 minutes I lost, which is a long story that I won't get into. I don't think you'll notice. And if anybody at any point does want to talk about how you run GoPro video for 100 miles, I'm happy to talk about that, but I won't get into it unless somebody wants to know. All right, so I'm going to jump away from all of the really gorgeous footage from this route. I'm not going to have anyone join me, and I'm going to start this. Oh, it's going to make me count down first. I'm going to start this at sort of an iconic New York City ride. Come on, you. Will it not let me? I guess it won't let me jump ahead. That's not good. Well, so much for my diabolical, exciting plan. Well, let me get on the bike and ride and show you what it looks like. Since it says 0 power, my ego can't take that. So I'm riding along toward the George Washington Bridge, which is what I had planned to show because it's such an immersive experience, but instead you're getting the build up to it since it won't let me jump ahead.
And I think, Sarah, just to add in there, is if you're in race mode, which I believe you might be, versus preview mode, then you don't kind of get the option to jump ahead so that you get the correct score of time. But if you want to do preview, you can do that.
Will it still show? Okay, let's back out and try that. That's how I tested it. Let's back out and do that because it's, well, I don't know if it really matters. I'll just let it run. So here we are, we're going along. We've left Strictly and we're heading to the George Washington Bridge. That was a little climb, by the way. And the nice thing about being virtual is, number one, I'm riding hands-free right now and I don't really have to balance. But also, I'm not weather dependent, right? I mean, it was sort of sunny that day and it's always sunny on the video. You're not time dependent. You can ride this at any time you want to ride it. You don't have to worry about all this congestion, all these cars, and the congestion we're going to hit when we get to the GW. You don't have any COVID issues, which for me, I take very seriously. You don't have to worry about potholes. If you hit pause, you can just run to the bathroom. Although I don't know if you can actually pause. Stephen, can you pause in ride mode? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, so basically ride mode is sort of designed so that people could kind of compete on time and so forth. So being able to pause it and, you know, take a little rest break and jump back on was sort of designed out of that. But you can definitely just preview the rides if you want to just enjoy the scenery. And, you know, as you were saying there, Sarah, is that with an ANT dongle connection, you get force feedback. So you, for example, if you're going up and down a hill, then that actual force feedback kicks in and it's harder to pedal up the incline. Back to you.
And do you get the force feedback on preview mode also?
I believe you do, yes.
Okay, because on the second video I show, I'll do it that way so I can jump ahead because that one's much longer. So this is kind of what I wanted to put out there because to me, crossing the GW was just such a nightmare. And this particular crossing of it, I thought was so much more fun virtually than it was in real life. Although at the same time, if it were easy, everyone would do it, right? Okay, so easy bathroom access, but you can't pause it to lose time. You don't need to wear a jersey when you're riding indoors. And I'm pretty sure some of my neighbors, though not all of them, kind of enjoy that. I like the freedom of location. So I can ride rides that are all over, right? Not just here. B camp possibilities. So I have done some virtual training camps online where we were riding together in the cloud, if you will. And then we were also on Zoom being critiqued really, really harshly. No, I'm kidding.
Well, there's a social dimension to this. Do you want to just maybe expand on that? Have you met new people kind of also doing this?
I have. That was my next point, which is you can ride with out of town friends, right? We usually if we're riding together, we use Discord so that we can voice chat, which is just a gaming audio software. Sometimes we use Zoom. I mean, I was on a group ride virtually during COVID with this randonneering group in Japan, and it was basically 40 people grunting into microphones. So it wasn't very sexy, but it was also really neat. I love this. I can stop and let the cops talk to the people. Okay, where am I? Ride with out of town friends. Anyway, you can also, when you get in here, practice things, right? I mean, I'm not actually making this turn, but I'm seeing what it looks like and I'm seeing what it feels like to some extent. And when you get to the other side of the bridge, which we're not going to go to because I'm going to switch videos, you end up seeing that horrible hairpin turn that I can only make coming over the bridge. This way going back, I totally don't make it. I have to put my foot down. So we'll stop me the shame of that. And I will switch videos. Oh shoot, I forgot to turn on my headset. So I should also throw out there, you can save these to Strava, right? Just like you can, I don't think it'll go up because I disabled it, but I usually, oh, maybe it did. I usually just record them on my bike computer like I do when I'm outside, which I forgot to start, so that's fine.
There's actually something else, Sarah, is when you were riding that bike ride, if you click on events in Vid Fitness, I could see that you were riding and I could have joined your ride. I wish I actually had, because that would have been kind of fun.
I know,
but then
you should have done that. That would have been neat. All right, I'll go back and I do want to do show one other video because it shows the force feedback, which means I can do that.
I think you could do that in preview, but I'm not 100%. If you did it in non-preview mode, I would be able to join you as well.
Yeah, but it's 10 minutes in, the part that I want. So let me do preview mode and then we can do something where we join. All right, hold on here. So I was gonna offer, let me just get my flywheel moving here. I was gonna offer, if anybody knew what this hill was, some kind of prize, although Alan didn't authorize me to do that. While I'm slowly overtaking this walker, notice how slowly. I just wanna talk a little bit about the things about Vid Fitness versus other virtual platforms that I have ridden on. So what I really like is that you have the ability to offer an actual route, right? Oh, sorry, by the way, I talk throughout these videos. You can offer an actual route to people versus filler miles, right? Or weird challenge apps that are sort of a proprietary Strava. I've had some odd experiences with those over the past couple of years.
Is this walnut?
Ha, it is not.
Oh.
Keep going. I put this clip on Facebook and made people guess. So for Escape New York, we really wanted you to see the actual area, right? So this isn't this year's route, but it's sort of what Alan referred to as the classic route. Sometimes there's a ride that I'm really craving. So for example, during COVID, I really wanted to go ride laps in Central Park. Well, I have those up on my personal channel here, so I can ride my ride whenever I want to. And then getting back to the Napster ride sharing thing, I really like the idea of sharing rides with my friends. So they can do my ride, and they may live in Colorado, and I can do their ride. We can talk about it, we can joke about it, but we get that kind of togetherness, or I can join them virtually to ride their ride. And then I've also been thinking about various training uses for this platform. So I thought about the fact, you can hear me breathing in this video, which gives you a sense of how steep this really was. So you could record a ride and maybe mount the camera somewhere to show your form versus to show what you're looking at. And then you could go back, you could do that for a full ride or for a sprint or a climb that's important to you. That's when I slowed down so much that my bike computer stalled out. Anyway, then you could rewrite it and look at your form and look what you did, maybe with your coach. It would also be fun for both route and race recon. So when I did Zwift racing, we used to preview the routes, but you could actually preview in real life race courses this way, with or without your team. So the next question, and I have to stop the video. The next question is, will I catch those joggers? And if you want to know, you're going to have to log into Vid Fitness, and you're going to have to ride that ride.
Hopefully you don't run them over.
I do not run them over, but I'm not.
Don't give it away.
I'm not going to give it away. Nice try. Stephen, do you want to join? Should I pull one up and then you can join me?
Sure, do that.
All right.
Fun.
Go to events, you said?
Pardon? You just go pick a ride that you want to ride, and then, or I could start riding something, and you could join in if you want.
Oh my gosh! Here, we'll just start this.
All right. So you should, as soon as you start that, if I go to the events page.
Oh, that pops up. I see.
So it says now it's happening now. So I'm going to just join in, right? And so you probably will start to see, let's see, happening now.
It did ask me if I wanted to wait, and I didn't wait.
Maybe that was, yeah, let me just see.
That might be my fault.
I think, yeah, you might need to let me.
We're unscripted now, so I didn't practice this. All right, we'll see.
It's all good. It says it's completed, right? Okay, so yeah, if you start.
Okay.
And don't start yet. Actually, I'm going to hop in.
All right.
Oh, about to happen. I'm going to join. Oh, that was that. I missed it. So you should see me pop up there.
I see you.
Great. And then you just head off.
Sweet.
Do the old magical countdown. And although we are physically many miles away.
I know. Not that many.
There we are. We're racing against each other.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And you're beating me. You're beating me. I better get my boating gear now.
Well, I'm still on.
This is where both speakers conk out in the recording because they're breathing too hard. Oh no! All right, so let's see.
I'll coast a little. So you
see, I think I'm beating you now. You're beating me. So we're tag teaming backwards and forwards. But that's cool. And I mean, it just gives an example of
he's beating both of us though.
Yeah, that guy is. But it's just, makes it fun interaction. You can real time cycle with friends. You can encourage each other that way, still be on a call. And hey, I'm cycling in New York and it's daytime and it's super safe. And I just, finished the washing up at home. So what else am I going to be doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have a lot of friends who are fascinated at the idea of riding in Central Park. And so it was a fun way for me to, I can share that with them because they're not here to go do it.
Well, and I have to say, from my perspective, having done it in the other technologies that are available, virtual that is, a cartoon isn't the same as here I'm seeing the real road the way you saw it. And it's,
right, it's not a game. I mean, Zwift is awesome, but it's different. It's gaming,
Yeah, and I personally, one of the rides, set of the rides that I personally enjoy, outside of the New York ones and the ones that you've uploaded. Let me try and get this on mute. My brother lives in the UK, so I enjoy. So he's videoed quite a few rides around where he lives, and so I can basically go ride in the UK, which wasn't actually possible during COVID. So it gave me kind of connection with my family member or other friends in a way that I would have otherwise not have got.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it's not somebody else's ride, but I re-ride my old San Juan tour from February 2020.
Yeah, that's cool. The one with the around the coast, right?
Yeah.
The tour. Yeah, it's very cool.
That was a fun ride. I enjoyed that one too.
That one I enjoyed, but I had to cut a bunch of the audio out because I heard the things I was saying and I just thought I can't put that out there in public. Well, anyway, this is what I had. Do any of you guys have anything to add to it? I'm happy to talk about what I learned recording videos, but you guys probably have more insight into that than I do.
Yeah, I think what you've covered very well is the ability to hook Vid Fitness up, which just runs off of any laptop, PC or Mac, to your smart trainer, and you can pick from any of the videos that are on the platform, and you can ride them on your own, or as we're sort of demonstrating now, you can have a buddy beat you, which you are beating me, and which is great. But it also encourages you to get on your bike, right? So I'm on my bike, which I wouldn't have been otherwise, which is great. And I think the other thing is, if you want to contribute your rides, if you get a GoPro, you can just stick it on your bike and cycle around and record places and events that you kind of enjoy, and then upload and share those. And we've had people upload rides, from different countries, different locations, types, including velodrome, which was kind of a lot of fun. And
I could switch to the velodrome.
It's if you want to, you can. There you go. I think you just left it right.
Just to show how quickly you could jump around the world.
Sure.
I guess one of my questions would be, can you talk a little bit, Sarah, about the process for people who want to try and upload? Because I know in our bike club, we have this amazing library of rides, and there's one of the ride librarians has been recording video of it over time. So I would hope that they would reach out to you, either the company or yourself, Sarah, to figure out, maybe there's a way that they can take some of the videos that they've done of our more popular rides and put them up as well.
Oh yeah, that's really great. That's what you need, right? Is somebody who's actually got video footage. So for me, apparently the earlier videos I shot were in the wrong aspect ratio and caused some issues backdoor. So there's an aspect, this is all laid out on the Vid Fitness website, if I remember correctly, because I think I printed it. The upload is pretty straightforward. Stephen, do you want to talk about the upload process?
Yeah, so basically, typically GoPro cameras and these video cameras record really giant files that are incredibly unwieldy to upload onto a platform. It's a huge pain. You have to download some special software and stitch them together and then upload them to YouTube, and then nobody even wants to look at them because they take too long, right? So what's great about Vid Fitness is we built into the software an uploading tool which does all of that hard work for you. So you basically just select some files that are on your computer, and then it does all the heavy work of shrinking them down, sending them up over the internet, stitching them together.
I'll mimic that. You keep talking.
Yeah, so it does all of that heavy lifting. So, typically you do a nice video, half an hour, you set these you set this process to upload and maybe do it overnight or something, or you wouldn't otherwise be using your computer. And then there you go. The files are magically up there. And also from the files, depending on the files, we can extract information from it to produce force feedback information. So, we're very excited about, the work that we did there on the upload, because it makes the process a lot easier. And we're excited about people that want to submit their rides to the platform. And some of the rides, there's Track Boot Gen. I probably mispronounced it. There's those rides, but there's also, narrated rides. There's like the Scenic UK rides, rides that have narration about, historical events that happened. One of them was recorded starts off in a 10th century church, and then you get sort of, you cycle a bit through history on that one. So I think there's a lot of different little potpourri, different kinds of things. You could go for a race of the people if you want. You could go for a pleasure ride around the country. You can go for a historical tour. You could do one ride after another each night and, log a good 11 hours or however long of riding. And, as Sarah alluded to, you can, in the profile, connect Vid Fitness to your Strava account very easily. And so any ride that you do will be automatically pushed to Strava if you put that setting in there. And so that makes it just a real easy to show off to your friends.
I want to throw a thought out here, which is, you talk about interacting with other people who are out there riding as well, or maybe interested in riding, and you live in one part of the world, they live in another. But think about people who are, for whatever reason, shut in. Maybe they can't get out and do what you can do. And you can share these videos with people that, can be seeing a whole part of the world because you're sharing it. So that's another dimension to think about, especially the elderly that might be shut in right now would probably love to be able to do something like this. As their bodies are not letting them do it on their own, they can do it through you. So that's another thing to think about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are many people that through their physical condition, it makes it very uncomfortable for long rides out on the road, or there's maybe balance issues and it could be dangerous and so forth. So that opens up, a bunch of opportunities to engage in fitness. Also, there's different rides on there at different speeds. So you can kind of enjoy riding fast, even if you wouldn't actually really be able to do that. And I think, also one of the final things there was, even as somebody who's physically more able and you could go out on your bike. Right now, at least where I live, it's dark, and I don't really want to be roadkill tonight, on a Friday night, but I could definitely cycle around some beautiful parts of the world just, from home.
Yeah, Steve, I was going to mention a bit about that. As the seasons change, it's not so, the days aren't so long. And so I'm not really inclined to ride after dusk. And so getting workouts in this winter was excellent. The platform really helped keep my cardio up, which really helped as COVID was pretty hard on everybody. So yeah, getting out in the weekends is a possibility, but the work week is pretty busy. And so nighttime isn't really an option for me to go out riding. This was great all through the winter. And I enjoyed some of the European rides that people had shared. We had a ride from Brazil, and really it's a user to user platform where people can share their place and enjoy their friends, community rides. I did some group rides on a platform where you could see other people riding at the same time, and then some solo rides like the one you're seeing, here. Just great views, expansive vistas. Another piece you mentioned, some narration in the software itself. When you've uploaded a video, you can also decide to annotate that video with some very simple basically on-screen audio recording tools. So you don't have to go to a separate program to do voiceovers for your video. You can just be looking at it in the Vid Fitness app and add a segment where you want to have some narration. So you might do a ride and you might want to offer some training tips for the ride, or it might be a kind of tour ride for some family or friend, where you're sharing, your new home with them, and some features along the route. It's all very simple to do that right within the platform too. It's just kind of a nice add-on.
Yeah, and I found it very intuitive, the uploading. I mean, I didn't do any of the audio annotating that you were talking about, but getting the videos up there, Alan, was really straightforward.
Great, but I seem to remember like you had a lot of videos. Did you have to break it down into pieces, or does it do it for you?
Well, the GoPro camera itself breaks everything down into 8, depending on what quality you're using, 8 or maybe 11-minute segments. So they're broken up anyway.
Okay.
And then, but so I would just clump them, right? So I would go to the uploader and I put them in like 30 to 40-minute clumps, thinking that people would probably, that's kind of a chunk someone would do at a time. And right in that Vid Fitness portal, you just select a couple of them, and then the uploads took a while. I mean, they're not immediate, they're big files.
Yeah, I had a hard time initially when I had a rather slow internet connection, but when fiber came to the neighborhood, it was sort of like a factor of 10 increase. So that's been a big help. Also, the uploader has an offset so that you can cut off. Let's say you want to cut off 30 seconds, where when you got on your bike, you turned on your GoPro camera, but you hadn't started pedaling yet. So you can specify 30 seconds that will be cut off from the beginning, or 30 seconds from the end, or what have you. Start and end offsets is kind of a little way to polish the video as you're uploading it.
What you guys probably should put in there is an automatic bleeper. Do I talk while I'm on that bike?
The Sarah feature.
Yes.
I was wondering if the stop just now, did someone have to go take a leak or something? Or it was pulled over, there was a stop, and then they continued.
Well, it may be that one. I think that's actually in Wales, from my brother when he went on vacation, or holidays, they say over there. And I think he just sort of quickly narrated something at the top of the hill.
Oh.
Yeah, I muted it because we were talking, but I thought might as well have it playing since it's out.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Wales, apparently I've never been, but I did research on the origins of my name, Alan, A-L-L-A-N, and apparently it's the Welsh word for exit. So all the highways are plastered with Alan signs. So I can't wait to go and visit someday, and I'll ride my bike, but I don't know.
You're famous in that country.
Oh, look at that! Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of wildlife on this one.
That's really cool. Listen, I want to make sure if our guests have any questions, this would be a good time to maybe throw some in. And if not, I want to ask you. I know we've set aside a booth for you at our event, and I think you guys can't make it on that day. Am I right? Or you might come in.
Yeah, I have a workshop that day, but we'll definitely.
But Sarah, are you going to want to, at the end of the ride, you can hang out somewhere where if people had questions, they can find you, right?
I am happy to do that. I am incredibly COVID phobic right now, but I am happy to do that as long as they stay a couple feet away from me.
Well, I'll give you a little preview of what everyone's going to be finding out pretty soon through the email blast, is that what I've done is gone and picked up picnic blankets are going to be the major giveaway. So people will be sitting socially distanced, and you'll have a tent, which means you can protect yourself from the sun or rain, should there be any, and you can establish where people can safely maybe sit within a 10 by 10 space. So I don't expect it would be a lot of people.
If I weren't already going to be out on the route, I would have been happy to sort of be there to do something more formal, but I think it's too hard for me to do both. But I'm happy to hang around at the Finish Festival and talk to people, sure.
That's cool. So unless there's anything else, we should start wrapping up. What do you think?
I agree.
Well, I thank you all. I thank you, gentlemen, for making the time and for making this technology available to everyone in the Cycle Club. And Sarah, you know, we couldn't have done it without you. So thank you. And I look forward to seeing you on the ride.
Yeah, and I would just say thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you so much, Alan, for this opportunity. If anybody has questions, Stephen@vidfitness.com or v@vidfitness.com. We're always there and happy to answer any questions that people might have. And thanks so much, Sarah, for the wonderful rides that you've uploaded, and you're helping make this happen.
All right, bye everybody. See you on the road.
See you on the road.
See you on the road.